Amanda Buck, how are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad that you were able to make this work with the timing and all that. Just as I mean, this is, I think out of anyone that I've talked to, you're probably the one that I've known the longest because I think we met, back in 2008 when I was in my prior life, and then we stayed friends. You moved on from that time too. So, and then now our paths have brought us to working downtown together.
Yep.
So if you want to just introduce yourself real quick, and just so we all know who you are.
Sure. Hi, my name's Amanda Buck, and I work for a company called OneSpan. OneSpan's mission is to protect the world from digital fraud. We pride ourselves on being trusted by over half of the top global financial institutions in the world and thousands of other businesses. And I work on the HR department. And my role is really twofold. I focus on supporting the US and LATAM employee populations. And then on the corporate programming side, I help drive a lot of our global programs such as performance management, employee engagement, and compensation.
Got it. Yeah, because I didn't, even though I have a pretty good network within the tech space in Chicago, I didn't know of OneSpan until you and I connected when you first joined the company. So, which is great. And I had no idea how big you guys are, especially on a
Yes,
global level. So,
and we're
um,
growing.
yeah, that's what I mean. And you guys have been one of the few companies that have been doing a lot of hiring and growing a lot, even through all this COVID stuff that we have going on.
Yep.
And obviously, the main reason I wanted to have you on here is because the whole concept of return to work, as every company is trying to figure out how to best handle it. Like what's OneSpan's approach to returning to the office, and also what measures and considerations did you guys put into place?
Sure. Well, March 17th, 2020 is etched into my brain because that's the last day our Chicago employees went into the office. And like several other companies, we had to very quickly determine, our employee safety, ensuring that they had the right technologies in place to still be productive and do their jobs, ensuring that we're still supporting our customers, our supply chain, our current workforce planning needs. So very quickly, we were catapulted into trying to figure out all of these different things. But at the very start, as it relates to return to work, OneSpan really kind of came up with these guiding principles that were really driving us in our decision making of when it was safe to return. And I really want to just talk about kind of like 4 factors that we had when determining when to open up our Chicago office. The first one was that it's voluntary. So we sent out a survey to our employees and they submitted their names if they were interested in returning. And we really stressed that there was no pressure in returning if they didn't feel comfortable doing so. The second item was that it was shared responsibility. This was a huge point for OneSpan, and knowing that our employees had to sign an affirmation that they or no one in their household had COVID or symptoms of it, and really acknowledging that there are going to be new procedures and protocols when they return to the office.
Okay.
The third item was strict social distancing rules in the office. And so this meant that even if you and I were on the same Zoom meeting, we couldn't go into a conference room and meet to conduct the meeting. We had to conduct it in our own individual offices. So we maintained that social distance.
So then are you guys using your conference rooms at all to get
No.
together?
No.
Got it. Okay.
So it's truly just our office space. We put everyone into our individual offices. Even if you had a cubicle, we moved everyone into an office. So again, kind of to maintain that social distance and extra protection.
Got it.
Yep. And then the fourth thing was really just additional safety precautions, like similar to other companies are doing in terms of like deep sanitation cleaning.
Amanda, your sound just, hold on one second. Okay, go ahead, sorry.
It's okay. The deep sanitation cleanings, the hand sanitizers, the requirement of facial masks, those are pretty kind of things that have become, pretty standard operational things at this point.
Got it. Okay. So what does the future of work look like at OneSpan?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about it. It's going to look different and change. We definitely had a pretty strong in-office environment. We were actually growing out a lot of our offices, building out office space. And I think this has really kind of had us stop and pause and say, what is that going to look like in the future? What are our needs? And truly the silver lining of this is saying that, people can work more remotely. We can be more flexible. We can hire talent wherever in the world. We don't just need to find someone where our local office is. It can be beyond that. And so we're actually, being able to, with that new approach already, we're seeing we're able to hire more of our open or difficult to fill roles, and just really continue down that path that we can really potentially hire talent anywhere.
So I've heard that from several different companies now, that they're, especially companies that are more progressive than the tech scene, that they could hire people from any, like, different states and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you guys are thinking about doing that, are you guys thinking of within the US or internationally you would hire people, like meaning people out from out of the country?
Yeah, it could be both. We have our global corporate headquarters in Chicago, our largest R&D office in Canada, and then our third largest office in Brussels. And several other offices really around the globe. So it really will be region specific a bit, but within those regions, there definitely will be flexibility.
Got it. And the people that you've hired so far that are not in state, the training, the onboarding, all that kind of stuff. I know you and I have talked about that. Is it more difficult than what you expected it to be, or is it easier than you thought it was going to be?
I think it took some time, some learning kinks along the way.
Yeah.
Our IT team is really fantastic and doing a great job. The same with, everyone's kind of jumped into saying, hey, what do we got to do to make sure everyone has a good experience and feel like they're still part of the company and feeling that connection to us, even though maybe we can't meet and have a coffee, go for lunch, or have that impromptu conversation. We just are really trying to be a lot more intentional about it.
Got it. I feel like that's going to be another topic that I'm going to get, and I'm going to volunteer you for it, obviously. But the whole hiring and training people remote, because I think that's going to happen, and it's going to be a lot more common now because you have more access to way more talent when you do open yourself up like that. But there's also legal things that you have to look at, especially as it pertains to like taxes, right? So
Sure.
cool. I really appreciate you talking about all this stuff. And I'll put your contact information on the actual post so that if people have any questions, they can reach out to you directly.
Yeah, and I'm happy to talk about any of these protocols or steps that we took in more length. Just kind of left it at a high level for today.
Yeah, no, I completely appreciate it. So, and we only have a limited amount of time to talk, right? So thank you again, my friend. And I really appreciate you.
No problem. Thanks, Benny.
Bye.